Andrew Yang, entrepreneur, tech guy. Andrew Yang will definitely be in the next debate. He is running a campaign that does not sound like any of the rest of the campaigns, and that is on purpose. That means that the pundits and the national press still haven't quite figured out what to do with him. But meanwhile, he is definitely connecting with donors. He's got a slam-bang social media presence that runs circles around a lot of the more traditional candidates. He pretty easily made it into this next debate. It wasn't like he was cutting it real close. And in each of the debates so far, it's been interesting to watch. Andrew Yang, you know, they add up the amount of time that each of the candidates has spoken, and Andrew Yang is always the shortest or close to the shortest. He doesn't take up a ton of time, but he doesn't need to, because he's not saying the same kind of stuff that all the other candidates are saying. And when he talks, it lands, in part because he's saying things that are unique.
I am proof that our democracy still works. Democrats and Americans around the country have one question for their nominee, and that is who can beat Donald Trump in 2020? That is the right question. And the right candidate to beat Donald Trump will be solving the problems that got Donald Trump elected, and will have a vision of a trickle-up economy that is already drawing thousands of disaffected Trump voters, conservatives, independents, and libertarians, as well as Democrats and progressives. I am that candidate. I can build a much broader coalition to beat Donald Trump. It is not left. It is not right. It is forward. And that is where I'll take the country in 2020.
Not either forward. That's Andrew Yang in debate one. And at that point, I mean, admit it, he's really introducing himself to the country. Obviously, he has enough supporters, you know, and enough donors to get himself into that first debate. But for the broader audience watching at home, you know, the millions of people watching at home, they're like, who's this guy, Andrew Yang? Well, that's his out-of-the-gate introduction, night one. Strong, different, right? In Detroit, in debate two, Andrew Yang, even stronger performance. He not only got some big applause in the room, he also, again, talked about stuff, including the economy, in ways that just didn't sound like a single other candidate on the stage, but it didn't make him sound weird. It just set him apart, and it worked in the room.
If you go to a factory here in Michigan, you will not find wall-to-wall immigrants. You will find wall-to-wall robots and machines. Immigrants are being scapegoated for issues they have nothing to do with in our economy.
Thank you, Mr. Yang.
The problem is that so many people feel like the economy has left them behind. What we have to do is we have to say, look, there's record high GDP and stock market prices. You know what else are at record highs? Suicides, drug overdoses, depression, anxiety. It's gotten so bad that American life expectancy has declined for the last 3 years. And I like to talk about my wife who's at home with our 2 boys right now, one of whom is autistic. What does her work count at in today's economy? 0, and we know that's the opposite of the truth. We know that her work is among the most challenging and vital.
Entrepreneur, tech guy, Andrew Yang, one of the Democratic presidential candidates. He has made the cut for the third debate coming up. I showed you those 2 clips from his first debate, one from his first debate, one from his second debate, to show you how much good he has done himself at his debate performances thus far.